Hello, Endersword here again, this time with another replay ripped right off the front page of StarCraft Reddit. We have a special game featuring our Zerg player down here in the bottom left-hand corner. It is Nofi. He claims to have no friends in StarCraft 2, but hopefully after the game that will not be the case. Up top here on the top right-hand corner we have Sajlutu, the blue Terran player who looks to be already going for something a bit cheesy. We've got SCVs going towards the upper third base here of the Zerg player, and even another SCV trailing behind that. So definitely looking for some cheese, and already starting the depot for a wall off here as a barracks goes down. Expecting obviously a second one up here right afterwards. Hits the mineral mark, and second barracks does come down. I believe that these were both platinum players when loading into the game. So let's see how this one goes. The SCV comes in for a bit of a semi-normal looking scout here. He sees that the hatchery has been taken at the natural. Gone for the gas first here, and just now getting the pool is Nofi. Taking a look around, it doesn't actually get close enough to see that pool or anything, but he's pretty fixed on his course here anyway as a little gas is taken. First barracks is done, and he's going for the Marine right away as a bunker comes down here for Sajlutu. A couple more SCVs have even come off the line. He's got 5 across the map at the moment. Even 2 more joining in for the fun as well. So he's pretty committed into this overall. Drones coming off the line trying to stop this bunker from going down as the first Marine comes and pokes at this little drone fella. One of them does fall here. Doesn't look like he's going to make it into that bunker, no, but it does finish. And 5 SCVs still left alive as another Marine comes in and is able to jump into that bunker, suddenly putting this hatchery at grave harm, especially with more reinforcements coming. Even more SCVs coming across the map, and 2 more waiting there as another bunker goes down and as the as of yet uncreep-filled area in the other corner of the ramp. Up at the top, we've got the 2 spine crawlers coming down as the first lings get out here, 6 of them. 4 of them making their way through, 6 of them staying at the top. These 4 may try and cause a little trouble on the other side of things, as it looks like this position is, at least for now, a little unassailable. Spine crawlers will be finishing up shortly. There's one and going for the speed. These guys trying to make their way across, as the hatchery will end up for sure falling here. 2 spines coming down here, pretty aggressive. They're actually going to spread out a little bit. Will probably be in a position to target different bunkers. Ling's trying to time it down and going after the one bunker that is being protected by the SCVs. Don't think they will get this one here, although a lot of those SCVs are very low. He now starts to target fire them down. May get the one at the top as it's been neglected by our Terran player, but all the Marines inside do survive here, as does the lower bunker, at the cost of all those lings. On the other side, they're there, but just now launching a little bit of a counterattack just as a barracks is being built in Shazlut, whatever's base. But more importantly, over here, the Marines coming up the ramp with the support of a few SCVs, trying to take out these lings and trying to target fire down that queen, but getting a little too close to some of the drones here and lose a little of their Marine bulk. Queen not looking too great at the moment, though. Spine is almost finished, but very low health. The drones, very few of them left, only 3 on the line. The spine does finish here. Very low health, but it would still be hard to take that one out with the queen to support it. And he does kind of live through this, but we are down to a single drone and 2 spine crawlers, one of them not very healthy at all, but with 3 kills. The queen with 2 kills on it, and this fresh one taking up the front position. These guys over here have been cleaned up during the action. Some damage done to this depot, but not a whole lot there. Another bunker coming down on the low ground. and Marines continue to be pumped out here, but we're currently sitting at 11 workers on the Terran side to only 2 drones over on Nofi's side, with some additional lings being made. A queen that was already underway has popped out, and now trying to get that creep spread back and going again. It's important to always continue with that. Let these spine crawlers advance to cover that ramp. See if they can be blocked up there, as a third bunker is coming down on the low ground for Zazlutu. Hard to balance out getting the economy going here with trying to stay alive for a little bit longer. The queens will have a transfuse available to them, soon to be 2 available to try and get this spine crawler back a little healthier. And at the same time, not a whole lot going on the other side, just more bunkers for Zazlutu. No attempt to expand here, not a huge increase, just kind of slowly making workers, but a lot of them early on were lost in the attack. 2 Marines are coming home actually to meet these 3 to make a bit of a defensive position, but he's still pretty boxed in just at the moment. As we get back up to still only 5 drones, but at least now some of the queen energy is going to be allocated towards the hatchery. Still hasn't actually transfused this 1 spine crawler, which is a little bit worrying. He does have the energy on 1, but obviously wanted to allocate getting some larvae back out there. Marines are kind of going around, maybe being a bit paranoid, looking for extra lings that may or may not be out on the map, maybe looking for overlords. One of the only ways to get back into the game is to launch some sort of counter attack here. Doesn't yet have like a lair or anything like that to go into a higher tech, but has a pretty good contained position against the Zerg player, and I guess is making sure that nothing is snuck out onto the map, nothing is going on that's weird or may cause him to be behind without him being aware of it. But in this time, Nofi has come back up to a respectable drone count of 12. Respectable because that's how many you start with, but you do have the queens out there supplementing. This spine crawler has actually just kind of healed its way back. I'm not sure if 1 transfuse was used there, but the energy does look like it, most likely. Continuing to just try and get his economy back on its feet is Nofi, and not trying to panic or anything or really force anything to happen before he can get things going. Seems content with the contain at the moment, and probably planning a little bit for the future. Hasn't resumed gas yet, however, just has now, and is now going for that roach warren. The Overlord, I don't know what he was pinging for. That wasn't me. That was in the actual game. Nofi over there taking a peek at whether or not an expansion is going down. Does see the command center being built, as the Marines, now content that nothing else is on the map, do gather at the bottom of the ramp here. Looks like they're thinking of potentially packing it up and going right up into Nofi's main base. Probably something they could have gotten away with a little bit earlier, but now it's going to be a bit tight as roaches are almost ready to be made. 2 spine crawlers now healed up to full. There are, however, a lot of Marines down here. We've got, what do we got, 21 Marines, I guess, on the low ground here. So a fair bit of a force, even with the transfuses, even with the spine crawlers and lings. But shortly out should be, I guess he's not making any roaches just yet, going directly into the lair tech. Stim actually is only halfway done. I think if Stim was done, this would probably be a no-brainer to just stim up, go up the ramp, and target fire things down. At this point, that's not necessarily the case. It is a pretty well fortified position going up the ramp. He could be blocked off by the lings long enough for the spine crawlers to do some real damage there. Reinforcements coming in of the Hellions is an interesting choice, as it's really the spines and queens that you're going to be worried about here. But the expansion is done on Zazlutu's side of things, as he gets his worker count kind of pumping up again, but still overall we've now recovered from 1 drone to 21 workers. Actually going to invest more in 3 more spine crawlers at the top of the ramp here. with only 29 workers on the Terran side, which of course is more, but still maybe a little less than you would expect 10 minutes into the game, even with the initial like 7 or 8 that were lost on the other side during the attack. Marines and Hellions continue to mount in. And we've got, I think, an entirely unnecessary cloak made for a Banshee that is not being made yet. And the Nidus Worm, now complete, will be loading in to the Terran base. Just as the main force comes up, trying to go after this spine crawler, transfuse, keeping it alive a bit longer, transfuse on another, one goes down, 2 still remaining there, but now the low health Marines going into 2 still transfusable spine crawlers. They are going to be picked off there just as the roaches unload on the other side of things. Only a few of them, but there's just not a lot back home here. We'll go after the 1 Marine, picking it off as it's rallying down to the low ground. Everything kind of evacuated from this side of things to go join in that main attack. 2 roaches going to the low side as 4 stay on top of the production buildings. The SCVs trying to get out, but I'm not sure exactly where they're going to run off to. These Marines rallied to the other side, are running back into things. 1 Marine going automatically to the rally point, not jumping into that bunker yet. There's certainly enough SCVs here to out-repair any damage that could be done to any of these buildings. There's only a few roaches at this point, but it looks like that's not what's happening. The 2 Widow Mines coming out may cause some trouble, as I don't believe there are any Overseers in the general vicinity here. SCVs coming in for the surround on a roach. And Marines, for some reason, just move commanding past, but now we'll turn an attack, abort the attack, and then resume it. More roaches have joined in the main base struggle, and these Widow Mines have been placed a little too far down the ramp to reach these guys up there, but certainly would prevent them from coming on down to help. Getting stuck on the ramp here a little bit, not quite firing with all his Marines. The Ravagers coming out now are probably a great idea given the level of control we're seeing out of Sezlutu. If things pump up exactly like they're going to, then that can happen. The Widow Mines, a little still out of position here, although much closer and much weaker. Ravagers may go down here, but now there are only a few SCVs left on Sezlutu's side of things. He cleans up 1 roach, but 3 more do pop out of that Nidus Worm. The economy now looking much stronger on the Zerg side of things, going after that starport, dropping some mules down on the expansion there. The factory's basically doing nothing at the moment. Really nothing is in production here for Sezlutu. He's trying to get a Widow Mine into position, but can't really get close. Good idea here going towards the Nidus Worm itself, but doesn't actually get down in time. Had he done that earlier, may have been a neat idea. But Widow Mine's just a single one, not the best against roaches anyway, and now with the Ravagers he'll be able to clean that up, even without detection coming. The main base of Nofi is close to mining out, so if Sezlutu was able to hold a bit longer, then he could definitely pull something off here. He's still trying to get Widow Mines out, not trying to float any buildings away, not trying to make any other bunkers or anything like that. Still making Marines, but they're rallied from across the map. And calls him a fucking lucker. I don't think that was a lot of luck at all. It was definitely a little bit of inaction on Sezlutu's part of things, and then good timing with it on Nofi's side to get the Nidus Worm down and then launch the attack just after that main assault on Sezlutu's side going up the ramp here. Had he not done that, had he not committed to that attack, he probably could have brought things home, defended the attack, and gone back to try and resume a bit of a contain there. But he unfortunately lost everything up the ramp, 205 spine crawlers and a bunch of queens and things like that, and what didn't have much left home to defend. What he did have able to defend, he kind of left clumped up there, and at the mercy of a bunch of Ravagers. So really nice comeback from Nofi, who was down to 1 drone at one point in this game. I want to look at the units lost. He ended up being much more efficient over the long run of things here. And great job there. Great comeback. And way to pick his spots. Thanks for watching, guys. Endersword out.